Hello dear student, today our theme about oriental contribution. We talk about great scientists and about their inventions. So you know we have many ancestors, and Uzbekistan has also a rich history in scientific area. It has contributed to the development of the world science. Significant scholars of the state developed several new ideas in a variety of academic fields. So the contours of the ancient civilization were discovered on the territory of Uzbekistan, and where the most ancient remains of modern man were found. That event became a discovery of the year in Uzbekistan. And our ancestors like Al-Khwarizmi, Al-Biruni, Ibn Sina made great significant works in the field of astronomy, mathematics, physics, medicine, and other subjects. So here are the pictures of some items such as chess, perfume, porcelain, syringe, and water hill. Do you know the history of these items? So if you don't know, I'll give you some information. First of all, let's listen the text about these items, and then we will complete the table. Please listen attentively.
Daily lives. They also domesticated most of our important livestock and many pet animals. In 1621, the game of chess evolved from a four-sided Indian game played with dice and a board. The original game, called Chaturanga, was used to teach military tactics. After some time, the game was simplified into a two-player strategy contest. Chess spread to Persia, Arabia, and finally into Europe in the 8th century, with the Moorish occupation of Spain and Portugal. Also, people had been using the oils of different herbs and nuts to perfume their bodies for thousands of years. But it wasn't until the 7th century that chemists of Arabia had the idea of distilling flower oils for perfume. These oils, mixed with fragrant tree raisins and musk, formed the basis of the modern perfume industry. Around 1850, Chinese potters developed a translucent and fragile form of ceramics called porcelain, made from a mixture of feldspathic rock and kaolin, also known as China clay. Chinese porcelain was a prized luxury item for importers in Europe and the Middle East for centuries. The secret of porcelain manufacture was not discovered until the 18th century in Europe. In 1000, the Iraqi surgeon Ammar ibn Ali al-Mashil invented the first medical syringes. His syringe was a hollow glass tube topped with a needle, which he used for extracting cataracts from the eye of his patients. The Chinese Buddhist monk Su Song invented the first reliable mechanical clock in 1092. The mechanism was driven by a water wheel and drew astronomical models used for the astrology and predicting the future.
So dear students, you have listened their listening task, and now let's do this activity, and please let's complete the table. So as you heard, in first there is an inventions and the time when this invention, and the place and inventor in the last one. So the first items is chess. As you heard, chess, the first found in 1621 in India. So it was involved by a four-sided Indian game played with a dice and a board, and the original game called Chaturanga was used to teach military tactics After some time, the game was simplified into two-player strategy contest. And chess spread to Persia, Arabia, and finally into Europe in the 8th century via the Moorish occupation of the Spain and Portugal. So the second item is the perfume. You know, perfume is also was probably oriented in Arabic states. Different legends tells us about it, and the last one. Also, first of all, people had been using the oils of different herbs and nuts to perfume their bodies for thousands of years, but it wasn't until the 7th century that the chemists of Arabia had the idea of distilling water oil for perfume. These oils mixed with fragrant tree resins and musk formed the basis of the modern perfume industry. And the last one is porcelain. It's around 850 from Chinese potters developed the translucent and fragile form of ceramics called porcelain, made from a mixture of feldspathic rock and kaolin. Also, it was known as a China clay. Chinese porcelain was a prized luxury item for importers in Europe and the Middle East for centuries. The secret of porcelain manufacture was not discovered until the 18th century in Europe. And the last is syringe. So in Iraq, surgeon Ammar ibn Ali al-Mafsili invented the first medical syringe. His syringe was a hollow glass tube topped with a needle, which is used for extracting cataracts the eyes of his patients. And the last one is mechanic water wheel. The Chinese Buddhist monk, the inventor of this invention, invented the first reliable mechanical clock in 1092. The mechanism was driven by a water wheel and drew astronomical models used for astrology and predicting the future. And we have a grammar part of today's lesson. We talk with you about reporting verbs. A reporting verb is a word which is used to talk about or report on other people's work. Reporting verbs can be used to great effect, but the difficulty with using them is that there are many and each of them has a slightly different and often subtle meaning. Reported speech and reporting verbs. We use reporting verbs with words like say or tell. If this verb is in the present tense, it's easy. We just put she says, and then the sentence direct speech, I like an ice cream. Reported speech, she says that she likes an ice cream. We don't need to change the tense, so probably we need to change the person from I to she. For example, we also may need to change words like my and you. But if the reporting verbs is in the past tense, then usually we change the tense in the reported speech. Direct speech, I like an ice cream, and in reported speech she said that she liked an ice cream. Here are the table of the tense and the sentence in direct speech and in reported speech. For example, in present simple, I like ice cream, and she said that she liked ice cream in reported speech. I'm living in London. She said that she was living in London. In past simple, I bought a car. In report speech, she said that she had bought a car, or she said she bought a car. In past continuous, I was walking along the street. In the report speech, she said that she had been walking along the street. In present perfect, I haven't seen Julie. If we change it reported speech, she said that she hadn't seen Julie. In past perfect, I had taken English lessons before. She said that she had taken English lessons before. With will, I'll see you later. She said that she would see me later. With would, I would help Bart. She said that she would help Bart. With modal verbs, can. I can speak perfect English. She said that she could speak perfect English. With could, I could swim when I was 4. She said that she could swim when she was 4. With shall, I shall come later. She said that she would come later. With should, I should call my mother. And in reported speech, she said that she could call her mother. With might, I might be late. She said that she might be late. And there are also examples for reporting verbs. And these verbs are argue, assert, assume, challenge, claim, contend, contradict, describe, dispute, emphasize, establish, examine, find, maintain, note, object, persuade, propose, prove, recommend, refuse, reject, remark, suggest, and support. You should learn these verbs by heart. And look, there is an activity 2. Rewrite the sentences using above listed reporting verbs. The first sentence. Oriental inventors have created numerous things we take for granted in our daily lives. Example, Oriental inventors are claimed to have created numerous things we take for granted in our daily lives. And the second one, Ulugh, a famous astronomer, complied tables of sinus and tangents accurate to 8 decimal places. For example, Ulugh, a well-known astronomer, is noted to have complied tables of sines and tangents accurate to 8 decimal places. And the third one, in 860, the 3 sons of Musa ibn Shakir published the book of artifices, which described 100 of technical constructions. If we change it reported speech, it will be oriented horticulture was found to have given the wall to the fragrant. So, in 860, the 3 sons of Musa ibn Shakir were reported to have published the book of artifices, which described 100 technical constructions. And the fourth one, Oriental horticulture gave the world that fragrant flowers and herbs from which perfumes were extracted. And in reported speech, we may say Oriental horticulture was found to have given the world the fragrant flowers and herbs from which perfumes were extracted. And the last one, it will be your homework. You should write. And here is a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. She said that when you cease to make a contribution, you begin to die. What she wants to say? So she wants to say that when you cease to make a contribution, you begin to die. A person should never stop learning something's good for his friends, relatives, but also for the whole humanity. If he does it, he is going to have some fatal end in his fate. Anyone should keep on creating something new for the humanity and its development. If everyone does his job perfectly, humanity will continue being in real development scale. And there is a BB method. I know all of you already know about that method. The first one I know. It was about great scholars' contribution to the world civilization, and I want to know about inventions. And the third one, I have known important inventions history, how to use reporting verbs. So that's all for today. I think you get more information about Oriental contributions and the scientists. Thank you for your attention.